There's a backstory about that. That I want to mention.
Come on, buddy. Come on.
Pete respects that.
Come on.
Pete,
Pilots, baby.
There's a Cub sticker right
Hey, I got a pilot right there on my stove.
Representative doing sound here. But anyway, at that point, that was really the beginning of the slide for the team until the last couple of years that a lot of people think about. That Chauncey was gone. Yes, he had help with the teams like Ben Wallace and the other players.
Iverson loved those casinos, though.
I think with that in mind and all the big shots he did make.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it too.
I remember one big shot against the New Jersey Nets. That's the only one I remember. I don't remember another one. Somebody remind me of the...
Here's my argument for Chauncey Billups being put in the rafters. And Jeremy mentions the Allen Iverson trade. When did the Pistons start to spiral down?
When Ben Wallace left.
No. As soon as that Iverson trade happened.
Yeah, of course.
That is what started the spiral down. Chauncey Billups, as much as Ben Wallace did, Rasheed did, Rip did, I think Chauncey Billups was truly the gel. Chauncey Billups was the guy on the court that kept everybody together between hitting the big shots. He knew how all of his teammates worked, inside out. He knew where to find him under the basket. He knew that Rip was going to have to get a screen, and you've got to hit him one step off that screen. He's going to be able to catch and shoot, but he would deliver that pass to him. The little things like that is what led to the 2004 NBA championship, is what led to 6 consecutive Eastern Conference championship appearances, what led to a couple NBA championship appearances, led to all the sellouts, led to the fans all being there. Yes, all 5 of those Pistons played together, and there wasn't a true star, if you will, like today's NBA standards, but Chauncey Billups was the gel, and as soon as they lost the gel, everything came apart. He kept them together.
Real quick, Freddie, before we get to why you don't think Billups should be up there.
Because I don't think his numbers are worthy of it. To me, if you get your number retired, to me you should be Hall of Fame worthy to get your number retired. Vinnie Johnson's questionable up there, and we all agree on that.
He's a lifetime Piston.
Yes,
he's a big time. That's a feel good story.
And I think his 007 is what got him up there.
Absolutely.
So
and the game-winning shot.
Traded though in that Iverson trade. But about what he.
But take the trade.
Who knows what would have been able to happen in the next maybe the next 3 years? Because eventually Ben Wallace is going to, he's going to go. Whether he leaves and comes back, whether he retires, that's fine. Whether Rasheed retires or whatever happens with him, his career was near the end. Rip Hamilton, he started to he wasn't the same Rip Hamilton. When
he was a prick. He was a prick. He followed everybody. That's why he's not going up there. But what about Tay? I mean, if you're going to say, to me, if Chauncey Billups up there, what about Tayshaun Prince? Yes, exactly. But he had a bigger impact on the Pistons than Chauncey Billups did.
I disagree.
Yeah, and here's my take on Chauncey Billups. When he was the first-round draft pick under Rick Pitino in Boston, he was still just a green. He was very green.
Yep.
And they gave him a season, and they traded him and flipped him around.
Denver.
And he was in Denver, and then his time in Minnesota, where he started coming his own. And Joe Dumars.
Orlando.
Was it? No, but when he was with Minnesota, he was at Minnesota before when the Pistons got him, correct? But he was in Orlando too for a minute.
Yeah, he started taking a turn in Orlando.
Yeah, and then Minnesota got him. He started taking a turn.
Yep.
But I will say this: as much as Joe Dumars gets a lot of crap in this town, and rightfully so, he's done a lot of dumb things. He recognized what he saw with Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups, that 04 championship team wouldn't have happened without Chauncey Billups. Period. End of story. Because there was no other point guard that could distribute the ball. I mean, at this time, they had Lindsey Hunter. They had the ball guy, James. I forgot the
Curry.
Guy. Not Curry. Mike James. Mike James was an energizer off the bench, but Chauncey was at his point coming into his own as a guard, and they would have not won the championship without him, because I can't think of a guard on that squad. And Lindsey Hunter, as your friend and I joked around him to be his number retired, at that point, Chauncey Billups really, in a way, I mean, he was a calm, cool, collected customer.
He was the gel, man. He was like the Jason Kidd effect on the team. He was the gel.
I completely agree with you, Brendan, because if he wasn't there, who would have ran the point and who would have gotten... They listened to him because they respect him as a general.
Right.
And that sometimes that's just enough. You know
because
what I mean?
Allen Iverson came in and he's supposed to be that next level player. And we got an 8 seed. And guess what? Curry was gone as head coach. And then what did we start? The Custer era? Is that what came next? Or was it Lawrence
John
Frank?
Houston.
But Iverson didn't play well.
And Larry Frank.
The only time Iverson ever played well and got to the finals when Larry Brown was his coach.
Or when he was at the casino.
And I disagree on the Chauncey Billups. He loved the casinos here,
Yeah.
but I disagree on 2004 with Chauncey Billups being the guy that we wouldn't have won. We wouldn't have won if we would have took Carmelo Anthony, because if we would have taken Carmelo Anthony or Dwayne Wade, Tayshaun Prince wouldn't have been in the game against the Indiana Pacers and blocked a shot against Reggie Miller.
Okay, but then you don't know what happens in the first
That's
quarter, the
the
second
giant game
quarter.
of what
That's-
ifs, you know?
Right.
But at that point.
They don't win. They don't win without Ben Wallace.
With the team-
We
Oh, no, and they can't win without Wells.
And that's why his number's going in the rafters.
Right.
Ben Wallace. Ben Wallace should be there 100%.
With about 5 minutes.
Chauncey. Yeah.
Real quick, I want to get you guys' picks.
But you make good points though.
By the way, if you haven't had a chance to listen to the Pick'em Show, it's up on
haven't listened to it yet.
sportsdetroit.com.
It's your fault.
If
Well,
you can listen to if you want some gambling advice, if you will.
maybe we should put a gambling number on it. 1-800.
No.
If you want to watch the games, and Freddie and Penn, he talked about it. SportsRadioDetroit.com. Find us on Podbean, Sports Radio Detroit, and you also can find it on FreddieThePizzaMan.com as well. So there's plenty of outsources to find it. But I want to get Jeremy and Brendan's takes here. We'll start with Denver the Steelers going to Denver, giving them 7. Is that correct?
It's 7, but that was when he's not playing now, Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown.
So it's going to change.
Pittsburgh probably getting 14 here against Denver.
Yeah.
At this point, Brendan, I'll start with you with Roethlisberger or Big Ben, bad shoulder, his throwing shoulder. Is it pretty much going to be a done sealed game for the Steelers?
Can I say one thing?
Just lose.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
You know who the Denver Broncos MVP is going to be tomorrow when they win that game?
When they win that game?
Huh?
Brock.
No, Vontez Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh.
He basically took out 2 players
The funny
for
thing is,
and he's a thug, by the way.
the funny
Sorry.
thing is,
That game was a
Steelers by
Disgrace.
10.
Steelers.
Steelers by
He might-
10.
I got that recorded.
He might be on- he might be on something.
If the Steelers win this game, come Monday morning on Twitter, I'm going to put a big caption of you, Steelers by 10, with the audio. I'll do it. I will personally.
In his Michigan State shirt?
With this
And
look
look at-
on his face right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
He might be on to something
Steelers
because
by
Peyton
10.
Manning is
Steelers by 10.
done.
You heard it first. Jeremy, quick.
Good call, Brendan.
I'm going to say Steelers by 3.
Ooh, look at that. It's Pittsburgh loving a house here.
I'm telling you, they might be right because Peyton Manning, he ain't gonna give you nothing,
But you
man.
got a better on the
Oh,
Peyton
for the
does
love
right
of
now.
Jesus.
Right now,
you
yeah.
guys are
So-
crazy.
Jim Caldwell, maybe if he coaches Peyton Manning against Denver, maybe they'll
Go
win.
ahead, Jeremy. You got 5 minutes left.
Just a quick thing. I think it's more of a toss-up than people may feel.
Yeah, you guys make a good point.
You know, and I thought that, and I was talking about this with Out of Bounds on Thursday.
You like Denver.
I feel like Denver with that defense would come in and dominate against them, but it could be a toss-up. It could be a closer game. The other game in the AFC, Kansas City travels to New England. Gentlemen, I heard you guys' picks real quick. Jeremy, what do you got there?
I'm going to go with New England. I think ultimately they're going to come on top in this game, and he's taking
Oh, my bad. I know rapid fire.
Yeah, we got rapid fire.
Anyway, Jerry, keep going with
Keep
your
going.
thought. Before that claw came into the picture.
Pilots right here.
I think
Shoom, we get that. Back the AV title away again.
I think ultimately they've been on a mission since the start of the year, and they've been on a mission since all that
On a
stuff
mission
went
from
down. So I'm going to pick New England.
Here, claw.
The Chiefs are going to look like the U of D Jesuit Cubs against the De La Salle Pilots. New England is going to run that game. I think, Freddie, you like Kansas City.
They're gonna win the Super Bowl.
They're not.
I'm going to go
New England is going to run the table.
Breaking news: Jim Caldwell just got named Warren De La Salle's head coach.
All right, real quick. I'm going to say Kansas City. I have a feeling about Kansas City, just like Freddie does, and I'm going to go with Kansas City. Freddie gave me a lot of
Andy Reid, man, he's
gave me a lot of
been
credit when I picked Clemson, so I'm going to go
Yep.
stick with the guns here and go with Kansas City. And the NFC, real quick. Seattle going to Carolina. Jeremy, go.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton.
Russell Wilson.
What'd you ask?
Carolina and Seattle.
Oh,
Come on.
Seattle Seahawks, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Carolina because I thought Seattle got a little lucky last week that Wilson got it flushed out of the pocket a few times and got lucky. Hey, look, I found the receiver.
Destiny from
This
God.
is Carolina easy.
Hey, but them getting lucky with that missed field goal is the exact reason they're going to win. That's the exact reason they're doing
Bingo.
it.
Because they
Yeah.
pray. You know what's funny? They pray. You see how many people pray when I never seen Richard
I hate
Sherman
that stuff.
go so fast it just goes.
I hate that stuff. So God loves them and hates the
No, that's what I'm
losing
saying.
team.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Yeah.
But
why.
they must hate Minnesota because they lost 4 Super Bowls and lost 2 NFC
There
championships.
was no reason for that.
That's what I'm talking about. This goes back to
Exactly.
the thinking.
I'm on the
It goes
fellow-
back to now you're opening up a whole can of
No,
worms
no, no,
that
no, no,
I love. I hate the thanking God when you win because
I do too.
don't get me wrong. I love God, but it's just like what does he hate the losing team?
Yeah, no,
I mean,
okay.
come on.
He hates the Lions.
And then and then the last is Packers and Arizona. Arizona shellacked the Packers a few weeks ago. Jeremy, what do you got?
I'm going to go with Arizona. It seems like the Packers are just not like the Packers anymore.
I'm going with Green Bay because of watching that Seattle-Arizona game. I was sitting down and watching that
I'm starting to like
game.
him. I'm liking De La Salle more and more
Seattle
now.
just took
We
it
know
to
what's
them.
going on.
And talk about hitting someone while they're down, and then they're down, and you're still curb stopping them. That's what Seattle did to Arizona in that game.
Yeah.
I really think Arizona lost their fun. I hope I'm wrong. I would really like to see Carson Palmer win. I really do like the Cardinals,
He's 0-2 in the playoffs, by
but
the
I'm
way.
not picking against
It's like he
Aaron
sounds like
Rodgers.
me in the pick show. I said the exact
I'm
same
not
thing in the
picking
pick
against
show.
Aaron
Like, I
Rodgers.
really want to pick
And, you know-
Arizona. I just can't.
And lastly, before we wrap it up, guys, I think I'm going to go with the Cardinals too because I think the Cardinals are due.
Green Bay.
And I think, and you know I'm all against Aaron Rodgers, who screwed me out of a fantasy football championship. To be honest with you, so right now I'm a little mad about Aaron Rodgers, but it's okay. It's a personal aside. But
Discount fantasy points?
discount fantasy points. Okay, so I want to thank both of you guys for coming in today. Where we can find you next on air, both of you gentlemen.
When are we on there next? Whenever
Yeah,
Marygrove
1 minute
plays
left.
next, I think that's next week.
Yep, we're still continuing to cover Marygrove basketball right now. That'll finish through the rest of the season. And then starting in the spring, we officially take over full athletics coverage. That'll start with baseball and softball. And I think speaking on behalf of both Jeremy and I, we're really excited to get that going.
Yeah, Crusaders baseball.
One quick question.
Go.
The girls at Madonna, the girls at Marygrove, rating?
Madonna all day. I'll
All
say
right.
that right now, and that's just speaking for
We
me.
made a good move.
Wink, wink, don't judge.
Friday the Pizza Man
50
approval.
seconds, wrap it up.
Thank you.
Go to the website, FreddyThePizzaMan.com. Check us out on SportsRadioDetroit.com. This podcast will be posted tomorrow afternoon. Check out
Video
the
will be out in about 5
Periscope
minutes.
and what have you. And we're going to have a live YouTube here in a second. So, for myself, I'm Roger Castillo.
Brendan Johnson.
Jeremy Adams.
Peace, buyback.
Friday the Pizza Man, the Finger Man.
Thank
And we'll see you
guys.
next time.
The finger man. Right, I forgot about that.
That's just the Italian thing. That's, what you gotta do.
All right, hang on.
Good stuff.
Good job, guys.
Good stuff.
We didn't get the Andre.
gonna call
We didn't get